make it work. We make it work. All right, so let's come to standing position. Feet hip distance apart, toes are forward. If you want to really get technical with it, you can go 2 fists just between the toes here. Hands alongside the body, palms rotated forward. And this is our mountain pose, or Tadasana. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Feel your tallest posture here. We can kind of press that navel in ever so slightly to feel this minor activation of the deep core. I invite you to close your eyes if it feels comfortable. And just draw your attention to the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. Let's take a deep inhale. And a nice long, slow exhale. Breathing in here. And then breathing out. So see if you can fill into your belly when you inhale. If you have a hard time feeling where your breath is going, feel free to take a hand over your belly button like I'm doing here. And see if you can feel all of your abdominal muscles let go to accommodate the expanding roundness and fullness of the belly. And we exhale from here. Right. Stay tapped into this breath. Notice what it feels like to sit with this conscious, deep breathing. And when things get a little harder today, more challenging as we hold positions, see if you can settle back to this kind of breath, this mindful, full, deep breath. Finding that steadiness and that ease. Good. Keep that breath going. Let's drop the chin down to the chest. Just some easy, slow neck circles. Feel free to keep your eyes closed if you like. Queen, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome in. We're going to turn that head around. Feel free to jump in on these neck and shoulder movements in these first few minutes, even if you're sitting at your desk working. By the way, sad news about Twitch Sings, right? Yes, Queen Electro, you have not been anywhere. I just did all of those channel reward points yesterday. So I decided it was time. We needed to put some in there. I want to fill out a couple more. If anybody's got any ideas, feel free. Mikey, what does Jeff have for some of his points? Does he have any custom ones, or does he kind of keep it standard? Let's reverse directions of the neck there. Notice what you feel. Just push-ups and burpees. Yeah. I have those as my follow and sub. Maybe I'll put them in there for like a high amount, so if people feel like extra sadistic, they can throw those my way. I figure, you know what? I never program burpees for myself, so why not make chat do it for me? Save it for that. Let's bring that head back to neutral. Shoulders come up, back, down, and around. He doesn't do watch points. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't do watch points. Oh, we got someone coming in on Zoom. Coming into the Zoom channel. All right, so try to make these circles through your shoulder blades as big as you can. I'm bald. My hair is longer than when I did my own quarantine buzz cut. I feel like it's a little bit longer, but hey, you never know. Alrighty. Let's switch the direction there. So I always start class with the neck rolls and the shoulder rolls, regardless of whether we're doing upper body or lower body stuff. I feel like it's really good for anybody right now, especially if you're just watching at your desk. Totally fine. I'm always on the mod tab, so it looks different. Maybe I need to try the normal tab. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't always look at people's points, but if anyone feels feisty and wants to redeem something today, I'm happy to do my inflatable tube, man. Oh, thank you. Was that your kind way of being like, your class has already started? Thanks, Queen. Good. Okay, so let's shake out the shoulders here. Now, we're going to keep in that stance, and today is going to be quad focused and ankle focused. So all we're going to do to start is keep your heels planted and just shift your knees forward. You can see in this side cam, I'm going to go to kind of my max. Maybe. Well, thank you. Oh, look at your little emote there. I got to get up close and see that. Now, just rep this a few times with your exhale. We're going to exhale, lower, bend into the knees. I'm imagining I'm dropping my butt straight down to my heels, but look at where my knees go. They go over the toes. Now, I'm not letting my heels come up here. That's not what we're going for. We're just kind of easing the quads into this knees over the toes position. Now, this may have been something that you've heard. Knees should never go over the toes. But if we train in this position intelligently, we can build some capacity and some strength through the connective tissues, kind of the base of the quads going into that patellar tendon there. Okay, so I'm just feeling this. Notice the stretch in the back of the heel here, up the calf, as we go into this, what we call ankle dorsiflexion. So this ankle angle is closing here. Yeah. Go ahead, take a call for sure. All right, just notice what that feels like. Maybe we're starting to feel a little heat built in the quads here. And let's take this a little step further. So we're going to come up to standing, bring feet together. We're going to do the same idea where we bend in kind of sync. If you've done any sort of downhill skiing, this is kind of the position that you're in where your shins kind of rest on the ski boot. But we're going to take our hands on the kneecaps here, straighten the legs. Now imagine we're going to draw a big circle all the way around with the knees. And of course, anytime you're in this class, feel free to modify. If there's any pain or discomfort as you're doing this stuff, we can back off initially. If there's still pain or discomfort, then we can just discontinue that movement. And you can drop it in chat. I might be able to throw you a little variation. But again, I can't see you all moving. So please, in any time you're doing these, or in any fitness streamers and you're following along, please do it at your own risk. And please consult your physician or doctor before starting an exercise program. I feel like I need to drop that disclaimer a little bit more often. Right, so I'm just going back and forth. I'm trying to make as big a circle as I can, letting the knees go over the toes here. Really good if you are a skier, right? But also for anybody that just moves in their body, most of us do, get some movement through the quads here. Good. Nice. Now, let's come up onto our tiptoes here. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms. We're going to come way up onto the tiptoes. And exhale, bring the hands right down through middle. Heels are going to drop. And we're going to drop into that lower position. Maybe you can go a little bit further. Okay? Release the arms to the side. Inhale, straighten the legs. Come way up onto the tippy toes at the top of this breath. Exhale. Hands down the center. Good. We're going to do 3 more of these. Inhale. Straighten the legs first, then come way up onto the tiptoes. Exhale. 2 more. So I'm getting low. I'm keeping my heels planted. I'm trying to get my knees to go as far over as I can. I'm feeling burning up the fronts of the shins. Last one. That's the anterior tibialis that lifts our toes up. But it also helps to get just close this ankle angle. Good. Let's release the arms. Straighten the legs. Let's flow through just a couple of sun A's. And if you don't know what that is, Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskara A, you can just follow along. This first one I'll take a little slower, get a little faster each time. We're inhaling, reaching tall. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping my back straight here. I'm at empty here.
Next breath in, the hands come to the shins. We're going to arch halfway up. And then exhale, bend the knees enough to plant your hands. If you can hop back, you can do that. I'm just going to take it step by step. Take an in-breath here. Exhale, lower the knees down. Then the chest and chin between the hands. Inhale, slide everything forward. The belly flattens, but the chest and head lift up. Exhale, press back into our first downward facing dogs. We flip the toes, we send the hips up into the air. Arms are straight, they're strong, they're pushing the floor away. Now if this is your first one in a little while, maybe for the day or maybe in a long time, feel free to take a little softer knee position so that we can prioritize the hips going higher into the air than feet straight or heels down. That's not necessary to get the benefits out of this pose. In fact, we get a little bit more out of it if we soften the knees and let the heels come up. Because as we do that, the chest is able to come through the arms. Now in this position, see if you can take that deep breath that we started with. Deep inhale through the nose into the belly. Long exhale through the nose. Let's try that one more time. Wonderful. So we're going to go to the top of the mat. If you know how to jump up, you can. Otherwise, we're just going to walk the feet forward. Do, 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 do. Forward fold there. Let the head hang. On your next breath in, hands come to the shins. It's that half lift. So we're looking to arch the spine, trying to keep it straight as we can. Fold on the exhale, kind of like a deflation. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms reaching tall, up towards the sky. And exhale, arms alongside the body. So that's one round of our sun salutation A. So if you're just getting into yoga, sometimes it's just nice to use those. Maybe you do 3 or 5 just to kind of get the engines pumping a little bit. So let's do 2 more. We inhale, reach tall. Forward fold as we exhale, right? And we deflate. You can kind of see how these movements pair nicely to the breath cycle. So we inhale, we lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Again, we're going to step into that plank. I'm taking an extra breath cycle here. Inhale. Exhale again, that knees, chest, chin, or forward and down, chaturanga. This is kind of like our yoga push-up. We get about halfway there. We flip the toes. We inhale, lifting through the chest, rolling the shoulder heads open, look up. Exhale, tuck the chin, send the hips up and back, toes flip. And here we are again, downward facing dog. So each time we're here, see what you notice. See if you can get back to that breath. That nice controlled deep inhale, long exhale. Wonderful. Last breath here. Breathe it in nice and deep. And exhale. We're going to look forward. If you know how to hop forward, you can. Otherwise, we're going to tiptoe to the top. Inhale. Hands come to the shins. We lift halfway up. It's an arching spine action, looking straight down. And exhale. Fold. We use that inhale to come all the way up. Arms reach wide, then tall. I keep hitting Josephine, sorry. And exhale, arms alongside the body. Let's do that last round here, maybe just a little bit faster. In breath, reach. Out breath, fold. In breath, half lift up, like the number 7. Exhale, bend knees enough to plant hands. We're going to step back. You can jump if you know it. Again, knees, chest, chin is a little bit more mellow, or forward then halfway down for chaturanga. I flip my toes. I inhale to lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and I exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, making your small adjustments and then feeling that settle. Find that breath, especially as you do more and more of these. We start to feel the heat building. We start to feel the heart rate increasing. But we tap into that nice inflative inhale, nice drawn out, stretched out exhale. Giving us that sense of ease. Even in positions that are a little bit more challenging, we can use that breath to just kind of coax our nervous system to say, no, we're actually pretty calm here. Good. Good. Let's inhale. Raise that right leg up into the air. And I'm going to draw big circles through that ankle. Like as big of a circle through that foot as I can. Where I'm feeling the muscles all around my shin. The back of the calf, the front of the shin. All of those muscles firing up. You may notice that it gets a little ratchety. Meaning like the movement is not smooth. It kind of skips and stutters. And that's okay. I just needed to move my mat up a little bit so I'm not kicking my bookshelf. Switching directions if we haven't. I really need to move that bookshelf there. Good. And we're going to bend the knee, shifting everything forward. Feel that knee come forward towards the nose as the body flattens out into a plank. Hold here 2 breaths. Knee towards the nose. So I'm going to round my back a little bit more, get that knee closer to the nose. 1 more breath. And exhale. I'm going to try to step that foot between my hands. Now, it's okay if it's halfway down. You can use your hand to get it the rest of the way there. And we're going to drop that back knee. Let's come into our low lunge. Inhale. Good. Stay here. If you're happy here and this feels good, let's just stay. Otherwise, we're going to start to lift that heel as high up as I can. You can see my calf is fired up. I'm keeping that balance there. If you want to feel a little bit more than that, you got the top of the foot down, kind of press into that. I'm up on my tiptoe and the top of my foot. This is more advanced. This is going to take a little bit more strength, a little bit more mobility. One more breath. Keep it controlled. And good. We can lower that knee and that heel if you had it elevated. I'm going to bend the knee or straighten that front leg and shift the hip back. Really love this. I do low lunge and half split in almost all of my lower body just because it feels good. And you'll see what I'm doing is I'm adding another ankle circle into this. And the sensation is completely different. Because now I've added this hamstring and calf stretch into the mix. But the idea is the same. I'm trying to make as big a circle as I can through my ankles, switching directions. Really just feeling everything in that lower limb, in that shank, lighting up. Excellent. All right, so we're going to do a little diagonal stretch or a kneeling diagonal stretch, and this is going to give us it's going to start to strengthen the quad and the hip flexor at their stretched position. So we're going to re-bend into that front leg. We're going to get stacked, hip directly over the knee. Now I'm not letting my pelvic bowl tip forward here. I'm going to tuck that pelvis, okay, to give us a little bit of that posterior tilt. And already we should feel some additional stretch happening through the quad. I'm going to be pushing down into the floor through the top of my foot. Some of you may have to go with the toes curled under, and it's totally up to you. So arms are going to be out to a T. We're going to inhale, get a little taller through the spine. As you exhale, we're going to twist to the right, so towards the front leg. Right? And here we are. We're using the obliques. We can feel those obliques holding us into this rotated position here. Again, we take an in-breath. This time as you exhale, we're going to try to push down and reach back without sitting our butt to our heel, but really getting that stretch through quad hip flexor. Good. We inhale to come back up. Let's do a couple of these. Exhale, reach it back. So our first target is our back heel. If you can get to the back heel, maybe it's the arch, then the ball of the foot, then the floor behind you. Inhale to come up. Exhale, reach back, lean back. We'll do 2 more there. Woo. Nice. Come on up. Let's bring those hands back down to the floor. Let's step into our plank. And hold. Hold here. Give that butt a little bit of a tuck here. Let's inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So you can meet us in downward facing dog if you want to go through a full vinyasa, which is forward and down chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale into our upward dog. And exhale into that downward facing dog. Let's settle in here. Let's see what it feels like. Breathing. Slowing things back down. Find that calm, that steadiness and ease. Yes. 1 more breath. Wonderful. So here that left leg floats up into the air. Okay, and we're taking that ankle through a big circle. Imagine there's a marker on the tip of your toe. You're trying to draw a circle as big as possible. As slow and smooth as you can. Reverse the directions there. Try to feel the muscles of your lower leg igniting. Yes. Woo! Okay, so we're coming into that little knee to nose hold, so the knee will bend, left knee bends. We're shifting forward and flat to our plank, and I'm going to draw my knee up towards my nose. But then I've got to push through the arms, round through the upper back a little bit more to get that knee a little higher. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So our goal here is to get that foot between the hands. If it doesn't happen in that one first motion and we get about halfway up, just use the hand to get it the rest of the way there. Let's come into our low lunge. Ra. Oops. There we go. Very nice. So we get a little lower body stretch here. And we had some add-ons if you wanted to make this a little bit more challenging. First would be maybe just lifting the heel of that front leg, that left heel rising up. Feel the calves. And the second piece, you can add on or do this in lieu of. You can press down through that back foot. Maybe we get that knee to pop up. Breathe it. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 1 more here. Nice. Exhale. Let's place that down. Hands come down. We're going to shift the hips up and back to get a little straight leg here. And again, if it's hard to get to the floor, you can always use blocks. Okay, they essentially just bring the floor up to you, making this a little bit more accessible. And on this side, again, we're making the ankle circles. Slow and steady. Explore what's going on through the ankles. Nice. Keep going. Need to grab a little towel here. I am dripping sweat. Excellent. It's warm here today, but definitely not as warm as it was yesterday. Our heat wave kind of broke last night or today. Okay, so let's rebend into that front knee. Inhale, and we'll come upright. So if your hips forward of your back knee, we'll just reset so that that knee is directly underneath the hip. Hey, Mom, what's up, man? How you doing? You just coming by from Celsius? Celsius and Vivacious Joe going at it today. So we're going to draw that pelvis underneath us. If we're here, it's harder to get that posterior tilt. We can't really get it here. So if we back that hip up, stack the hip on top of the knee, there's our posterior tilt. Oh no, he found me. Jules, you cannot escape. Mums, he's like a heat-seeking missile. Arms out to a T. We're going to inhale nice and tall. Exhale, rotate to your left. So we're turning towards the front leg. Good. We breathe in, get a little bit taller here. Exhale, we reach back. And then we drop it back. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Reach back, then reach down. We're trying to keep this angle pretty open here. Every time you do this, see if you can get a little bit further. And if you touched your heel, maybe you can come to the sole of the foot or the arch or the ball of the foot. We're just getting into about 5 of these. I think I have one more. Inhale to come back up. Exhale to reach back and reach down. You can watch this later, Kathy. Yes, this will be on the VODs, and you can totally watch the entire thing going back. So lurk away if you need to. And I hopefully will see you on Friday for beer yoga. That's going to be this Friday. So hands come back down on either side of the front foot. We're going to step that back foot or that front foot backwards. And we're going to hold our plank for 3 breaths. But we don't want to be here. We want to rotate that pelvis in. Really keep that butt tucked. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Keep pushing the floor away. Inhale. Then we exhale. Ooh, I'm shaking. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Right? So you can flow through a full vinyasa, that chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or just like I did, I just shifted back to that downward facing dog. Okay, you can hold here. If you need to see that full vinyasa again, I'll demo from our plank. No, only hard liquor. There you go. That's okay, Kathy. You do you. So on our exhale, we go forward halfway down. Inhale, we lift the chest, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Kathy, I've got tricks up my sleeve. So this screen here has chat all blown up. I've got chat here on my phone. And now, let's come into child's pose and take a rest for a sec. Now, I've got my other laptop right behind this side camera, also blown up. So I can see chat, and chat. I'm blowing up chat. That's right, Mikey. I got to be able to read chat at all times. Somebody was impressed with how well I could teach a class and keep engaged with chat. It's tough. It really is a skill. And I'm glad to see that Jeff struggles with getting caught in chat as well. Okay, so we're in this resting in our child's pose just for a second. And we want to, again, we want to do some more work for the quads. So I'm going to show 2 different variations of how we can use our body weight to focus in on the quads. By doing some, some like hip ups and or some kneeling sissy squats. And most of these, assuming you don't have knee problems, should be doable for you to some extent. So, turns his head at the wrong time. Yeah, exactly, Mikey. Then I go and injure myself. So, from our child's pose, let's come up to what's called the Seiza squat. It does have a name in yoga, and I don't know what it is. But in martial arts, this is a Seiza squat. So our first thing is we're going to imagine that our hips are on like a little escalator. And we're going to go from hips sitting on the heels, and as I push down, boop, I come up to this tall kneeling position. And then I take that same escalator slowly back down. Okay? You'll notice that my spine stays vertical here. And back down. Okay? We inhale to come up. Oh! And then I just push myself back down, right? So we're kind of easing into some of the deeper positions here. If your knees and quads are okay with this, we can take this to the next level up. If you're happy here, just let's do about 3 to 5 more on your own. Try to go as slowly as you can. Okay? Feel these quads. Now, more advanced, we're going to come up to that high kneel. We're going to lock the hips in place by squeezing our butt. We inhale to get tall. Exhale. I lean back. And then I push down through my feet to come back up. I'm feeling all the work being done by my quads, down by my kneecaps. So every time I do these, I'm testing the waters. I'm seeing how my quads and my knees are feeling. Each rep, I see if I can go a little bit deeper. Right? Now, if you want a little in between, if the first one felt too easy and this second one, this little kneeling sissy, feels a little too much, we can do a little hybrid. We do the full expression on the way down. Go as deep as you can. And then we sit the butt back to the heels. Boom. And come back up. All right, let me show that again. So this is kind of an in-between. Because we're doing the eccentric. We're using the lowering phase or the eccentric as a way to build strength. I get down. I can't come up. So I'm going to hinge at the hips, sit my butt to my heels, and then come back up. Rinse and repeat. I'm keeping the body straight on the way down. Can't push myself back up. Break the hip. Yeah, exactly, Mom. She's got, it's hot over there. So we're going to do about 2 more of these. These are little kneeling sissy squats or natural, like a body weight leg extension. If you've done those seated leg extension machines where you lock your ankles in and you kick your heels up, kind of the same idea. Because we're going from knee flexion, this angle is closing, and then we're using our quads, to open that knee angle up again. I'm just keeping my hands here to kind of show you that I'm keeping the body straight. Okay, one more here. Nice. Woo! So let's try our hero's pose. And now for that, we're going to take our heels a little bit wider than our knees. And then as we're sitting down, I like to take the thumbs and kind of spin the calf flesh out of the way so that we can sit the hips down. Now, if this is too much for your knees, just sitting in this position here, elevate your hips on something, right? I've got a block handy, but whatever you have that can elevate your hips, even just a little bit, can really help you here. Some of you, this is more than enough to sit up nice and tall. Oh my gosh. Oh, Gina, you went up to see Dad? Cool. If you want to go a little bit further in this, we can lean back using the arms as support. He's a transformer. Right? So all the while, what you can see here, I'm kind of arching my chest a little bit. I'm sticking my chest out, really because my pelvis isn't rotated. It's spilling forward. So if I tuck my tailbone, you can see what happened. This kind of flattened out a little bit. Now I can't go as low. If I keep that kind of forward tipping of the pelvis, I can get down. But if I go to actually get that posterior tuck, that's a lot harder. But actually, since we did some of that active work first, I'm able to get into this where it's not pinching my back. Okay? And we're breathing. Wherever you are, if you're on that edge of discomfort, great. If you're anything beyond that, if you're in full discomfort or worse yet, pain, we need to back out. Okay? But if you're on the edge of discomfort, we can use that breath to feel that calm. Nice. One more breath. Okay, we're going to come out of this slowly. If you were all the way back down, we're going to use our elbows first, then the hands to prop it back up. Oh, nice. Oh my gosh, did I miss Gail's birthday? Uh-oh. Complete 360 bend. Yeah, this one is tough. This is not an easy position. So let's fold forward. Woo! Let's come into our tabletop for just a moment, and we're going to take nice and easy hip circles to get some more gentle, more kind movement through the knees. Going both directions there. Nice. Okay, so let's come back into our downward facing dog. I want to do a little bit of work in chair pose. So we're going to come hips up into the air. Knees are soft. Let's just feel this for a moment. Okay, making our way to the top of the mat. If you want to jump up, you can. I'm just going to keep it simple and tiptoe. Oh, it's today. Oh, okay. I didn't miss it then. September 8th. And as we inhale, let's lift halfway up. And fold. Wow, I really don't have that on my calendar. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Arms reach tall. And exhale, arms alongside the body. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to come into our chair pose. And we did about half of this already in the very beginning of class. We're going to bring the feet together. And we're going to drop the hips straight down, but the knees bend forward. Okay, I'm not letting my heels come up. Okay, I'm trying to keep the heels planted, but see, I'm trying to actually pull myself down a little further. And from there, arms reach up. I'm sitting my butt back just a little bit further and feeling that spine arching that's happening here as I reach up. So this is our chair pose. Breathe here. Some of you might even be able to bring hands together. Even further is looking up at those hands. That would be our drishti, our gaze point. Sorry, you might hear some air here. I've got this fan right in my face. Good. Let's bring the palms down to the chest. We're going to just lift only the left ankle. And slow motion. Step it back to our high lunge. Reach the arms tall. You can stay here. If you tried it on the low lunge, maybe you do it here. Tiptoe on that right foot. 2 more breaths. Ooh, John, is this burning or what? It is for me. I know you're following along. Good. Hands come back. Drop that heel. We're coming back to our chair pose. Try to stay in it. I had to shift all of my weight over to my left just to give my right knee a little bit of a break, but that's okay because that's where we're going anyway. So feel your weight go into your left leg. We're going to lift that back heel. Try to stay in this same low position as we do a slow motion step back to our high lunge with arms reaching. Stay here if you feel like this is enough. If you want a little bit more, we got that. Oh, Sailor Darrow. Oh, hey, I thought, you know what? Your name came up as pink and it looked like Old Game Lady. How you doing? I was actually wondering if you were here. Your hip flexors do not like hero's pose. Yeah, I know what you mean. One more breath here. Palms down to the heart. We're going to lower that heel, step it forward. One more go through, chair pose, 3 breaths, stay with it. Keep the heels planted. Good. As we exhale, straighten the legs, shake them out. I'm doing really well, Sailor Darrow. I'm glad to hear you're doing well also. Whew. That got me a little winded, so I need to come back to that breath. Right? Okay, how much time do we have? Perfecto. All right, so we're not done with the quads yet. Let's give them a little bit of a break from the top of your mat. Let's take a big step back with the left foot, and we're going to turn 90 degrees so that we're facing off the left side of the mat. Then we'll rotate heels in, toes out, so that we're in this very narrow frontal plane. This is technically the frontal plane. And we're kind of like 2D, like Paper Mario. So we're going to tuck the butt underneath. Hopefully you can see it in this side cam here. And we're just going to kind of like plie action. We're going to lower the hips there. I like to come in just a little bit. I have to make my adjustments here. Dragon Blue, what's going on? How you doing? Right? Added challenge, we can come up onto the tiptoes. Maybe drop the butt just a little bit further. Yeah, Sailor Darrow, no problem. You can always jump in for as much or as little as the yoga as possible. Some of you may want to reach straight up. Let's breathe. One more. Lower the heels, straighten the legs. Nice. We're going to go back to the top of the mat. Rotate your feet here. Da, 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 da. So, if you were following along and your knees were able to do everything so far, we can try this next movement. This kind of comes from Bikram. They use this a lot. It's kind of chair pose, and we're going to lower all the way down. Oh, you're good. Nice, Dragon Blue. Good to see you. Everyone's doing great in here, apparently, which is nice. I appreciate that. So what we're going to do is start with our feet together. Okay? And we're going to come into our chair pose. So I like to start with the knees bending. Keep the heels planted. For now, we will lift them up in just a moment. We're going to come into our more of our Ashtanga. I see sometimes people will do it like down here. I like it a little bit more forward. Ashtanga tends to have them a little bit more vertical. But from here, we're going to lift the heels. Then maybe you can drop your heels to your butt. Can you stay balanced here? Because then we got to try to go up again. And we're going to do this a couple of times so you can try it. We're going to draw that tailbone under. We're going to brace our belly. We're going to come back into that chair pose. Woo! Yeah, it cooled off a little bit here as well, Gina. Let's try that 2 more times. So we lift the heels. Lower slow. Feel like you're going in slow motion. I even have that as one of my new point redemptions. Let's try to stay balanced here. And then maybe we come back up. As soon as I can plant my heels, that's where I end. Last time. Pilates Mama! Welcome in. How you doing? I didn't even know you were streaming. How you doing? Welcome in, all you raiders from Pilates Mama. My name is Tony, or T-Man. We're just going through some yoga that is focused on the ankles and the quads. And we're going to come back up, and then let's straighten all the way up. Bring our arms down to our sides. Let's just shake that out for a second while I say hello to everyone. So I'm a full-time personal trainer, and I also teach yoga. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I teach Yoga Playground. And it is yoga with kind of a strength and mobility focus. And I try to make it accessible to everyone. So if you've never done yoga, this is a great class. Every other week we do beer yoga with a live DJ. Super fun. Very, very fun. So pleasure to have you guys here. Kyle M. Parker, thank you for the follow. Let me know any pose you want me to show or try, and we'll go for it. You can't do any of his moves. Oh, well, Mom, that's just you. Don't scare him away. Don't scare him away right now. They all came. They think I'm cool right now. It is 8:08. Yes, that's right. All right, so let's do a little bit of, we're going to finish with some dancer's pose and then bring it all the way downtown. If balance is an issue for you today, totally fine. Use a table, a stool, back of a chair, a bed if you have it. And let's focus on the quad stretch and the hinge of the hip rather than the balance, unless you want that challenge. Okay? So it's just we're setting our priority first. It's all good stuff though. So yeah, Kyle Parker, if you want a certain pose, or if you want chat to suggest something for you, feel free. But thank you for the follow. So I've got my left knee bent, and I'm gonna roll my pelvis underneath and just start to tip forward. Okay? Now don't go all the way here. I'm gonna kick my ankle into my hand, and you can see like somebody drawing a bow and arrow. It gets us into a little bit more of a stretch. Oh, what did you clip? Oh, that's right. Yeah, you clipped Mom's forearm stand. So feel where you are most comfortable in this tip. Maybe some of you go all the way into that forward lean. If your balance is on point, maybe you can reach forward. And I'm constantly trying to kick my ankle wrist connection to the sky. Sometimes you lose your balance and you just kind of laugh it off and keep it going. You like the channel points? Yes. I changed them all up last night, Dragon Blue. I finally got some time and motivation to do some more. All right, so we're going to come back up right here. And just for shits and giggles, let's do a little bit of active hamstring work. I know this is quad focus, but since we're here, it's just a nice challenge and a nice illustration of flexibility versus mobility. So as you can see, passively, I'm pulling my heel to my butt. That's my passive flexibility. I'm just pulling these tissues. They're being stretched, no force. However, we're going to try to pull that heel into the butt and let go. And I'm going to hold here for 10, 9, try to get that heel to your butt, pull it, it might cramp. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's set that down. Dragon Blue redeeming slow motion. I'll give you slow motion in just a second. And Kyle's asking if I can do the bound side crow. 2 slow motions. Oh boy. Okay. She's really gonna make I'll do it legit here. I'll do like some walking or something. I can do side crow, but I can't do bound side crow. So let me get through the other leg here. I've got just a couple of people following along in the class. So let me just do this side and make sure things are even, and then we'll attempt some of that stuff. So the other side, we're going to go into our crow. Or double slow. I think just longer slow motion, because at a certain point I'm just going to be almost imperceivable. All right, so I've got my right ankle now into my hands. And I'm going to tip forward just a little bit. Then from there, I'm going to kick my ankle into my hand. And you can see how that pulls the heel away from the butt. It gives my shoulder a little bit of a deeper stretch here. Now it's up to you how much you want to tip forward. I'm using my bed for support, but if you want to test your balance, maybe we reach forward. This is my dancer. This is really good if you want a pose for every Instagram photo that you take. I'm guilty of it. Mine was always handstands for the longest time. If you scroll down to my Instagram, it's like 90% handstand photos everywhere. But not anymore. I mean, now there's sometimes handstands, but it's not the only thing that I post. My goodness, my balance is throwing off today. And that's okay. Yours might be like that too. But I'm trying to reach this connection more and more towards the sky. And let's come out of that. Whew. Okay, we're going to do our 10-second active hamstrings. Instagram, yeah, it's the Insta pose, right? Who is that? African Babe. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome in. Did you come through with Pilates Mama? All right, so here's an example. Here's my passive flexibility of the knee joint. Because when we're looking at mobility, we're talking about our joint, not necessarily the specific muscles. Not sure why it's not working. Oh, that's my Insta. There you go. Oh, you know what? I don't have a command. That's a good point. Thank you, African Babe, for putting that up. So let's do our active. We're going to hold the heel to the butt, and then we're going to let go. Try to keep it as close as we can. 9, 8, 7. Ooh, it's cramping. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What's going on? Hey, Joker, how you doing? Welcome in. Alrighty. You got ID'd today for lotto tickets and cigarettes. So in the UK, I have to be 16 and 18. You don't smoke. They were for your dad. That's a small win right there when somebody just assumes you're much younger. I'm doing great, Joker. We're just kind of wrapping up our yoga class that was kind of focused on the quads and the ankles today. So we just did our dancer's pose. We got a few extra minutes. Let's come down to the floor. I'm going to get people who are following along into a little bit of a stretch here. We're going to lower all the way down to seated. Okay. Now, we're going to do one more variation. This is going to be kind of like half hero's pose. So Sailor, if you're trying these, this might be a little bit more accessible. Again, anytime we're doing seated poses and something feels like a lot, most of the time, elevating our hips on blocks or blankets or whatever you have that's cushiony, you can sit on those. So we're going to take our left foot and just bend it. So we're only worried about one side, which is nice because we can lean a little bit if we don't have a lift off, or we can sit our butt up on something here. Now, if we lean back, we can get more of the quad. If we lean forward, we can get more of the hamstring. So, user's choice. Now, while we're hanging out in this, John, I think you're following along. Anybody else? Maybe Sailor Daro's doing this. Just be here and breathe. We're going to try the side crow. I haven't done side crow in a minute. So, Kyle, this might be a yoga pose fail, and that's okay. Joker, I can help to the best of my ability. I will say that nutrition is not my forte. I'm more of a movement geek, a biomechanist myself. You know who would be great nutrition-wise would be Mum Furious Fitness. He may still be in here. We can give him another shout-out, Dragon Blue maybe, or Pumpkin Panda. Oh, who summon? Look, you just say his name. You don't even have to say his name 3 times. You just say it once, and then he shows up. So if you look at the comment above, Mum, Joker's got some questions.
We are all kind of like a comprehensive fitness community, and we are happy to share our knowledge. So, Mom, if you wanna take this one, by all means. But Joker, please feel free to ask here or in any of our channels, and if I can't answer it, hopefully someone equally or more knowledgeable, such as Mom Furious, can help as well. Let's do the let's try that side crow for the follow. Take him under your dragon wing. That's right. But well done. Thank you for saying that, Joker. You know, it's not always easy to say, hey, I'm new at something. I don't know about something. Can you help? So props to you for just showing up and asking for help, because that is already a hard enough step. So thank you for coming in and having that courage to do that. Okay. Crap, I forgot even how to get into side crow. Oh, I know. Okay, I got to go into it through like revolved chair pose. All the baby dragons. So this is for Kyle M. Parker for the follow. He is requesting a little bit of side crow. So what I'm doing is we kind of dropped into that like heel lifted chair pose just a moment ago, and that's where we can start our prep for our crow pose. By the way, this is not part of the class. You don't feel like you need to try this, but I'll talk you through how I'm setting up for this. So if anybody wants to try it safely, then you can. But I advised I don't advise it for everybody. So I'm going to rotate. I'm going to hook my left elbow on the outside of my right thigh, and I'm going to keep the elbow bent. Plant my hands. Now, as I bend my elbows, it pitches me forward. I'm going to get this other elbow wedged into the hip. And as I continue to lean forward, I feel my arms taking over, and I get to balance. Is this the pose you were talking about or hoping for, Kyle M. Parker? And then from there, what's cool is you can do some like ekapada variations. Let's see if I can do it. Saw that you have to eat protein, fat, and sugar, right? By the way, I'm not English speaker, so sorry if... No problem, Joker. So far, we understand you. Yep. I always am tickled by that. People are like, I'm sorry, my English is so bad. And I'm like, hey, I can only speak English. If English is your second language and you're speaking that well, fucking bravo to you. First class, what's up, my man? How you doing? He would be another person to ask in terms of nutrition stuff. First Class Fitness is really into that himself. He's very passionate about it. First Class, we got Joker asking about, he or she is new to fitness and has questions about nutrition. So Mom is kind of taking over right now, but I know, well, First Class, I was on vacation last week, so I was up in the mountains. So let me just show this real quick. Boop. Right, so here's our revolved crow, but I can disconnect my legs and do kind of some of these cooler variations here. Right, there you go. That one's for you, Kyle M. Parker. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope I made you proud. Isn't it cool? Yeah, those are, once you kind of get the idea of the arm balances and where things are placed, like your center of gravity, it can be cool to try. And some of them are not as hard as they look once you have like the side crow. Side crow is a good one. Hey, use puck bag. Oh, there we go. I was going to ask you if you tried it, use puck bag, because I know you're following along. Cool. Let's do the other side if you haven't already. John, I'm just kind of talking to you because I'm assuming you're the only one taking the full class today, but if anybody else is, thank you for indulging me. I also have to go in slow motion, so you know what? Let's do it now. Let's do it on this one. I'm going to cue it. John, you can go right into it, but I'm going to redeem. We got 2 slow motion redemptions, so that's 2 minutes of slow-mo. Good thing I got my timer set to 2 minutes. No effing way you're trying that. It's all good. Oh, you want me to do it again? Mom, is that what you're talking about? I might be okay. Let's do slow motion. I'll do slow mo with you. Okay, sounds good. Right. So, other side. Bend into your right knee. And again. Use a block if you need to. I like to use my thumb to move the cow out of the way. Inhale. Exhale. Fold forward. If this is too much on the knee, you can lean over to the side. Okay, that was 2 minutes. Oh my god, that's a fun one. That one's Dragon Blue. Oh my gosh, she's just gonna be the redemption queen. So I think I did a pretty good job there. We got 2 more minutes though, right? Is that what I have on there? Does it say 2 minutes or 1 minute per redemption? Thank you. Did you do it as slow as I did, John? John, use bag. Oh, and she redeems inflatable tube man. Do I have to do that slow? Oh my gosh, we got 2 inflatable tube mans. We've got 2 more minutes of slow motion. Let's go. Let's cue up the next move. John, if you want to go into it, we're just going to do Supta Baddha Konasana here. Okay, so let's do that again. I am cashing in on Dragon Blue's second 2 minutes of slow motion. If you're new to this channel, I'm sorry and you're welcome, depending on how you're taking this. And Joker, I will read. We're joking around, but I will read yours in a moment. But I'm sure Mom's got you covered. Okay, so 2 minutes on the clock, slow motion. So our next move, rotate and bring knees into the chest. Soles of the feet together. Then we recline on our backs. That was really hard to do.
And we rest. If this is too much, use something to prop your knees up. And we breathe. With the hand on the belly. Oh, there's 2 minutes. With what I was trying to say, with a hand on a belly, you can practice. That is hard to do. Like, okay, I want to keep teaching, but how would it be in slow motion? So you can use a hand on the belly to feel into this breath again. Feel yourself breathing down into the belly. And you may notice with a hand on the chest and a hand on the belly that you're really only breathing into your chest here. And that sometimes we get wired into breathing that way. But what happens when we are breathing into our chest is it's kind of perpetuating this fight or flight response. And if we can breathe down into our belly, we can get kind of that vagus nerve stimulation, dropping us into our parasympathetic nervous system, aka our rest, digest, and repair system. Okay, we're breathing here. Let me get caught up in chat while we're breathing a few more. I've got basically a minute of inflatable tube man coming up. That one's going to be funny. John's on the lurk. Right on, man. Depends what your goals are. Can I eat junk food when I need carbs? I'm kind of lost in this because exercise I get fit, but I eat junk food to get energy for exercising. Nice. Okay, you guys are handling that. I love having knowledgeable people in my chat because you guys can kind of field some of these questions. So we're going to use our hands to bring the knees up and come in. We're going to finish with our Shavasana, our resting pose. We're going to do our Om chants, and then I'm going to be here for another 45 minutes to an hour just hanging out. I'll probably jump in with the talk about fitness and health. I'll redeem the two-man. Oh, and she did explorative mobility dance, which I'm sure is going to be the llama. So stay tuned because that's going to be fun. But here, for our final resting pose, Shavasana, is how most yoga classes end. And some consider this to be the most important pose because it gives us a chance to integrate everything that we worked on through the practice. So as we settle down, whether we're on our lying down on the mat, maybe you're just kind of dropped into a relaxing position into your chair, you can close your eyes. Feel free if you're still in chat to keep talking amongst yourselves. But as we settle in here, we can let go of that deep breathing. You know, if you were connected to it the entire class, here's the first opportunity where we yield that control back to the body. Back to this automatic control that our body has over our breath and our heartbeat and our digestion. We don't have to think about that. But it can be an interesting observation to just notice how the body breathes on its own. And as we lay here in stillness, see what you notice about your body. What can you feel? Specifically in the spots that we were just working, so the quads or the tops of the thighs. The area just above the kneecaps there, those patellar tendons were getting worked because we were doing some deep knee bend positions. Maybe you begin to notice where your mind goes here. You know, if you're new to this practice,
Your mind might start to go off into planning the rest of your day or thinking back on your holiday weekend. And if you notice that happening, no need to judge yourself for that. It's going to happen to even the best of us. But we use that opportunity to gently bring the mind back to just paying attention to the breath and to the sensations that are in our body. That's happening right now in this moment. So in the same way that we train our physical body in the practice of yoga and weight training and running, by starting easy and progressively overloading as we get stronger and more capable, the same practice applies to kind of our mental focus. So you might find that within a minute, your mind goes off to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different places. Initially you might think, I can't quiet my mind, it's impossible. However, every time that you pull your attention back to the breath, back to the sensations in your body, it's like doing a rep for your mental health. And over time, we get better and better at drawing our attention back to ourselves and back to the present moment. And the stronger we get at that practice, the more we have that tool at our disposal when we're going throughout our day, and we may notice that our mind goes into becoming aggravated at something or someone, and we can go, hey, that's just where my mind is going right now. I can bring that back to this moment in myself. So meditation isn't just this one endpoint where our mind is a blank slate at every moment. I mean, it's a common misconception. It's something that we work on constantly. Now, I'm not getting the full Shavasana because I'm kind of talking through the process, but I think it's a valuable lesson. And if you're following along, and you have more time to stay here, by all means, please do. Some yoga practices will have you be in Shavasana for 10, 20 minutes, if you have the luxury of time. So feel free to stay as long as you'd like. But to come out of this nice and slow, gently, we begin by deepening the breath. Just introducing small movements out of the fingers and toes. Moving into the wrists, into the ankles. Let's take the arms, reach them up overhead, stretch the body out nice and long. Take a big breath in. Open the mouth. You can stick your tongue out. Wonderful. Let's do that again. Inhale, big reach. Drawing the knees into the chest. Allow your body to just roll towards one side. We're going to come up to a seated position. Oh, we got a raid while I was in Shavasana. How are we doing? Joe coming in. Welcome in. Everybody coming through the raid. coming out from the joint Celtsy and Vivacious Joe workout. That's awesome to see you guys together. Vivacious Joe is out in Kansas City right now, so he and Celtsy caught up. We're going to finish with 3 rounds of Ohm. You can join in. There's a lot of chat I got to catch up on. I also have to do 2 inflatable tube mans and 1 explorative mobility dance, and we will get to that, so definitely stay tuned. Let's make sure our Shruti box are set to the right notes. Now, for our own chant, this can have deep meaning to people spiritually, or we can just think about it as thank you, used puck bag. I'm glad you stopped by, and thanks for coming through. I'll probably see you tomorrow if you're at the gym. I'll be there in the morning. So thanks for hanging out. Thank you for taking the class. All right, so our ohms, they can be really deeply spiritual for you. For some of us, it's just feeling what it's like to notice the vibrations of the sounds as we're going through the 3 parts of the Ohm chant. So it's actually got 3 parts depending on how we shape our mouth. It's going to go ah, ooh, yeah, mom, we got that 808 Ohm. All right, so hopefully you can hear the Shruti box. It's giving me my note. All right. So wherever you are, you can follow along, or you can just enjoy the sounds as Mum Furious clearly does. And I love that about you. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, breathe everything out. Inhale for our first of 3 ohms. Thank you so much for coming to class today, whether you were taking class, following along, lurking, or just hanging out in chat. I appreciate it all. Thank you so much. Namaste. Awesome.